Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Monica Chinelli. I'll be speaking on the lesson 18, figurative death and resurrection. First and foremost, I'm going to speak on the meaning of figurative death. Death means when the spirit of a man leaves the body. Especially when you look at the man, they have left the ghost and it's confirmed dead. And the next thing is to bury that person. So that is mutually that the person is dead. Death means when the spirit of a man leaves the body. There are two types of death, spiritual and physical. In John 11, about 2,000 years ago, Lazarus died physically and was resurrected by Jesus. After time, death and resurrection was physical, and death and resurrection today was physical. And today we will be looking at physical and spiritual death and resurrection. When a person dies, it's not physical breathing, it's not physically breathing anymore. It's time to be dead. You have in a man's body, you have the spirit, you have the soul, and you have the tripart, you have the spirit, soul, and body. In the book of Matthew 10, verse 28, he said, "Do not be afraid of those who will kill the body, but cannot kill the spirit, cannot kill the soul. But fear only God, who can only kill both the body, the spirit, and the soul." When a person dies, the spirit leaves the body. John 6:63, Jesus said, "There was spirit and they are life." That's there was spirit and they are life, meaning that the word of God is spirit and is life. It depends on the one you choose. In John 1 to 4, it is written that the word in the beginning is God, and the God himself is life, and the word itself is life. Anyone without the word of life is like a dead person. When you don't have the word of God in you, you are virtually a dead person. Apparently, you are dead. There is no life in you. But when you have the word of God, you have life, and you have it. Jesus, he said, "I am life, and the word I speak, they are life." You understand? Like like a dead person, since they do not have the word of God, they are dead. The meaning of the parable, number one, death, the state in which there is no life, the word has no life. You understand? When you say something is dead, there is no life, there is no word. Whatever that is breathing, living, is no longer to be found in it. And you talk about resurrection, the resurrection is the spirit with the word of God, word of life. The parable is recorded in John 5 from verse 29. Those who have done good will rise to live, and those who have done evil will rise to be condemned. So when you are living, or you're living rightly, you will resurrect at the last day, and you resurrect to go for eternity. But when you are not living right, you will be when you rise, you will be condemned. You will not live to enjoy eternity. Let me just ask you, what kind of resurrection would you like to participate? Of course, to live, to rise to live. Live good in order to rise to live. The explanation of the parable figurative life, words of life, physical characteristics, the vitality that keeps us living. John 6:63, word from Jesus, they are spirit, they are life. Genesis 2 verse 7, we are dust. And the dust, when someone died, it goes to the ground. That this dust was created by God, and he formed it to be a man and become a living being. Ezekiel 18 verse 4, the soul that sinneth shall die. The living being, the man, the body, contain both the soul and the spirit. The explanation of the parable of figurative resurrection: spirit rise with the word of the life, spirit reviving with the word of life. It equally means rising from the dead. There are types of resurrection. Physical resurrection, which means the one who is physically dead, reviving spirit resurrection. Ezekiel 37, 1 to 6. God's spirit came to Ezekiel, born in this valley, prophesy life to them. Difficult, terrible situation, death situation, where there is no hope, void, without form. But with the word of God in them, they were able to come live. They were able to become a great army. Ezekiel 37, verse 7 to 10, bones came back to life. Ezekiel 37, from 11 to 14, the actual entities of one, whole house of Israel. The actual entity, the whole house of Israel. He said, open your grave and bring it up from them. As a coming back to life, resurrection, fulfillment in the first coming. That is what it means, coming back to life, rising from death. Prophecies in the second coming and is this fulfillment, and the fulfillment of the word of God that have been said. In conclusion, the answer to the parables, number one, life, word of life, death, the state without word, which is life, grave, the organization of falsehood, resurrection, the resurrection of the spirit with the word, which is life. I will encourage us to do the will of the Father, to understand, to take the word inside of us so that we will live. We will, even if while we are dead, at the end of the age, we will be able to come back to life. We will be able to resurrect. And the word of God in us will keep us living. They give us the vitality to, to live. Become a living spirit, a living soul. And that is exactly what we're talking about today. And I believe that every one of us will live. At the end of the day, when you rise, you rise to live again, not to rise to be condemned. Thank you. Have a lovely day.